I'm 67. I'm retired. A lot of my friends are taking their Social Security at 67 instead of waiting until 70. What do you think I should do?
Yeah, that's really interesting. So this is a question that came in a while ago, and it's something I've run across many times. I actually do a seminar on Social Security maximization. It's an area of specialty. We specialize in retirement, and so one of the big pieces of that is Social Security. And so if you think about that, if you're 67 now, I'm going to assume that means you're at full retirement age, and so it's not a bad time to take Social Security. If you take it 62 to 67, you actually get less as far as that goes. You basically get, a penalty for taking it early, and that penalty lasts for the rest of your life. But once you get to full retirement age, one of the big advantages to waiting is that they will increase your benefit by 8% a year plus any cost of living increase that happens for that year. So, for example, if you were waiting in 2021, this year, you'd make the 8%, plus you'd make the 1.3% cost of living increase that they had for this year. You make a 9.3% guaranteed return in growth on your income. And what it does is it increases the base of your income for the rest of your life. And so if you can grow it from where it is now to 9.3% higher, every cost of living increase you get after that is going to be based on this higher base. And so if you can just wait that 1 year. But here's what's happening this year. Because we're having a higher inflationary period, there's some rumors that we might even see a 5 or 6% cost of living increase in 2021 that would actually pay out in 2022. They'll announce this in October. Think about that for a minute, because if that actually happens, if you wait through 2022 for your benefits, you might actually get a 13-14% increase on your money on Social Security. And again, the S&P 500, which we just looked at, which is a phenomenal index, averages 11% a year over the long term. And in that long term, there's all kinds of downturns and all kinds of hassles. You could make 14% maybe next year, guaranteed from the US government with no downturn, and it increases your base. Um, so, not everybody should wait. And you really need to run a Social Security maximization plan to figure out what your break even age is, what other assets you're going to withdraw from, and how much impact that's going to have on your overall net worth. Uh, but in a generic sense, without knowing all of those things, to answer this question, it might be a good idea to kind of wait. Now, most people don't wait. 50, I believe 8% of people take Social Security at age 62 here in America, and only 8% actually wait until age 70. I've got some clients that wait till age 70. They've been very happy with that. So, if you're married, try to get the bigger one to grow as much as you possibly can. Because if one of you passes away, the bigger one stays and the smaller one goes away. So maybe if you want to take one early, you take the smaller one early, potentially, and leave the bigger one to grow until age 70. And that way there's something there for whoever, is the survivor of that couple. So lots of different pieces to take a look at in Social Security planning.
So, how does life expectancy play into that? Maybe like let's say I'm just not exactly the greatest health. I don't see myself living past 80. Is it then kind of warrants me taking a little bit earlier?
Yeah. So let's say, for example, somebody who's 67 could take it now versus waiting till age 70. They're giving up, say, 3 years worth of income and they're going to get a higher income, but how long does it take to get that back? And let's just say, for example, in your scenario, it's 82. So by 82, you've now made back, you're kind of at a break even point. And then after that, right, you're just making more and more money. And so, a couple of things I would think about there. Number one is, are you a couple or not? If you're single, that's different. If you're a couple, there's a chance that one of you makes it past 82, higher chance because there's two lives there. And how is the health of your spouse? So that's something to consider. Um, but if you think your health is really, really poor, and you've got some, solid, thoughts about that, then yeah, you can take it earlier. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But the biggest challenge in financial planning, I'd say by far, is people living longer. Because it just makes your money have to last longer and longer. I had a client who called up and was taking the last dollar out of their IRA at 93, and his comment still rings in my ear constantly. It's just, "Hey Tom, I just didn't think I'd live this long." And so, and now he's pretty much out of money, right? So you don't want to get into that spot. So that's the kind of the piece there. You'd have to be pretty certain that your health isn't going to work out, and only a few people are really in that position, in my opinion. It's hard to tell, but it's a good thing to think about. It is a piece of the equation, and these Social Security maximization programs that we do, we can put in shorter than average life expectancy. We can put in an age, and it'll tell us, hey, so if you say, I think I'm only going to live till age 80, we can put that in there and see what it comes back with as far as, what's the optimum age to take it. And it might be earlier because, they're talking about a much shorter time period. But again, keep in mind that if you're married, it's not just you, it's both of you. And so that's a piece of it.